Hey horror fans, let's talk about a classic, Cujo, 1983. If you haven't seen it, you're missing one of the wildest, most intense King adaptations out there. Seriously, this one's an emotional rollercoaster that mixes family drama, pure terror, and some of the most freaked out performances you'll ever see. Here's the lowdown. Everything you could want to know about Cujo, from its wild plot to the real dirt behind the scenes. So, Cujo was directed by Lewis Teague, written by Don Carlos Dunaway and Barbara Turner. Plus, Stephen King himself had a hand in it, though uncredited. The cast: Dee Wallace, Danny Pintauro, Daniel Hugh Kelly and Ed Lauter. All solid. The whole story kicks off in this sleepy little town where a regular, good-natured St. Bernard gets bit by a bat and, yep, goes rabid. We followed Donna Trenton, played by Dee Wallace, a mum dealing with some serious guilt from cheating on her husband, Vic, that's Daniel Hugh Kelly, who meanwhile is stressed about his failing ad business. One morning, Donna takes her son Tad, Danny Pintauro, to get their junky car fixed out at this super rural farm. She doesn't know yet that the family's dog Cujo has turned into a furry, foaming nightmare. When their Ford Pinto breaks down, because of course it does, on the farm, Donna and Tad get trapped in the car, and that sweet St. Bernard is suddenly a monster out for blood. It turns into a full-on survival story, Donna versus Cujo under the blazing sun, with Tad getting weaker by the minute and Donna pushed to her absolute limits as a mum. Now, get this. They used 5 different St. Bernards to play Cujo, doggy stunt doubles, plus a mechanical head for those brutal close-ups, and even a guy in a dog suit for the wildest shots. Trainers actually smeared tennis balls with meat paste so the dogs would charge and snarl right on cue. Dee Wallace said filming was nuts. She got pretty banged up, actually. But off camera, all those Cujo pups were total sweethearts. Lewis Teague had just finished Alligator when he got the Cujo gig. He wasn't even King's first pick, and he took it super seriously. No cheesy jump scares, just real, raw performances. Cinematographer Jan de Bont, who later did Speed, yeah, that one, messed with handheld cameras and super tight shots, so you really feel trapped in that car. It's all filmed around Petaluma and Santa Rosa in Northern California. Fun fact, Scream was shot there later too. Dee Wallace is honestly incredible in this. She nails every minute of panic and sheer willpower. Critics still rave about how she brought real emotion to a monster dog movie. And little Danny Pintauro? He's just a kid here, but his scared out of his mind performance is totally believable. Their chemistry basically turns what could have been a goofy premise into a story that'll hit you right in the feels. Okay, here's what's cool. The movie is less grim than King's book. In the novel, Tad dies just before Donna defeats Cujo, but in the movie, he makes it, so the ending isn't quite as tragic. King's book actually lets you into Cujo's head, showing him as a sick, confused animal, heartbreaking. But the movie mostly leaves that out. The book dives more into town gossip and Vic's business drama, but the movie cuts all that to focus on the mother-son showdown. The book's heavier on the psychological horror. The movie's tight, tense, and all about surviving Cujo, minute by terrifying minute. When it first dropped, Cujo got mixed reviews. Some people wanted more plot, but most agreed the scares and acting were top-notch. Over time, though, people realized this one's special. Roger Ebert called it a terrific exercise in tension. And honestly, it's kind of like Jaws, but you're stuck in a car instead of a boat. No ghosts, no serial killers, just a mum, her kid, one mean dog, and a whole lot of heat and fear. Other movies, like The Shallows and Crawl, totally owe Cujo for starting the trapped against nature's fury thing. Even King himself says it's one of his favourite adaptations, mostly because Dee Wallace just crushes it as Donna. So why does Cujo still matter? Because it takes something normal, a family dog, and turns it into your worst nightmare, all while telling a real human story about survival and the madness of isolation. Underneath the barking and biting, There's this primal gut punch bond between a mother and her kid that sticks with you way after the credits roll. If you want a horror movie with real bite, cue up Cujo and get ready to sweat.